Now loading. Complete.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we're gonna be doing a mid skin fade. So with my client, you see he has a lot of hair on top. So what I'm doing now, I'm taking my clips and I'm moving that hair out the way. Just gonna make it easier for me to see what I'm doing while I give him the cut. So now that I got the hair out the way, I go in with my 2-guard close and I start to debulk. The fade's really gonna go begin at a 1.5 at the top, but using the 2-guard gives me a clear canvas, and then I can really see how and where I want to take the fade. Now that we got all the bulk out the way, I grab my clippers closed and I use them in a trimmer motion to create my bottom line, and then I flip them back over just to clear that out and make sure that it's pretty smooth in that process. The reason why I do it this way is because it'll be easier to take out the bottom line coming from fade to the skin. Come in with my trimmers and go ahead and clear that bottom panel, taking all the hair off, making sure it's clean. See, I grab my clippers again, but they're closed, and I'm making sure that that transition between the trimmer and the clipper is extremely smooth. Then after I get done doing this, I'm gonna grab my full shaver and really bald out the bottom portion of everything just to make the fade pop even more. And then if you have to, you can always go back to your trimmers and just notch out little spots that you see. Go ahead and get all that as clean as you need it to be. Alright, so I'll grab my clipper again, but this time I'm doing the clipper open and creating my first guideline. Making sure I go over it multiple times, make sure all the hair is not down and even. There's going to always be certain parts of any client's head that'll be more dense than other areas. So I'm making it as even as possible, but always keep that in mind, especially by the occipital bone, which will be in the back of the head, where the skull meets the spine, the vertebrae. For him, that tends to be the darkest area, and sometimes it may not be dark, it may just be the shadow that's being casted. So now I'm actually attacking the head with my 1.5 closed. Of course, again, just debulking. just trying to knock all that hair down, I started to notice that his hair was still a little bit darker than we both would like it. So instead of with the 2, I just went to the 1.5 closed and took it down. Now I'm grabbing my half guard and I'm going ahead. I'm starting with a clipper close, and I'm actually going to work my way up slowly but surely, opening up the lever as I move up. And I already have an idea in my mind how far I want to take this half guard, so I didn't set my guideline for this part at this time. So now I grab my 1 guard, and for my 1 guard, I'm doing the same thing I did with my half guard. I'm starting with the clipper closed, and then I'm gonna work my way up. And as I go up, I open up the lever. There are always gonna be areas where you see that it still might be a little bit darker. So that's why lever play is very important in understanding how much hair you're going to be cutting off or removing when you're doing these steps. Most of the time, or sometimes you will have to drop the guard size and come back and just do a little bit more detail work. But you just pay attention to detail. Everything will work out. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So keep that in mind, and just keep working at it. Everything's always going to fall into place. So now I went back to my 1.5 guard, and I'm just blending in the top portion of the hair, making sure that looks good. And then I take that off, and I go back to my first initial guide because I never took that out. And so I started with my clipper close, and luckily with these clippers that I'm using now, the Cocos, they have a notch system. So I open it up to the second to last notch, and I work my way up from there until I'm fully open, just to blend everything in.
Hola, gato.
So with the back, I'm doing the same exact steps. I'm starting with my half guard, and I'm starting with a close, and I'm working my way up, going to my 1, doing the same thing, playing with the lever as I move up, and then I end up with my 1.5. With the back of the head, sometimes for this client, the back of his head around his occipital bone his hair is a lot more dense. So I end up stretching the fade just a little bit more, and I come back and do a little bit more detail. But I know he likes to keep it a little bit darker in the back, so try to do the things that suit the client and what they ask for, while also making sure that your work is still your work and that it looks good, and that everybody will be happy at the end of the service. And with the left side, again, it's the repeat of the same steps. Half guard, close, working to we're fully open. Then we'll switch to our 1 guard, and then we'll switch to our half guard, and then we'll come back and do some detail work. while we got time, you know what time it is. I want to give a shout out to the beat maker, the mastermind of this fire hit right here, Mr. Gato Cuts. That's GATO.CUTS at Instagram. Gato Cuts. I appreciate you, bro. Always dropping crazy fire. Crazy. Now we're getting to the edge up. I'm just going ahead and comb down his edge up line, his hairline, just to make sure I see exactly where I need to go. Hit it with a little bit of holder spray, a little bit of spritz, however you want to call it. Dry that, make sure that sets in, and then we're gonna come back with them hitters, them cocoa trimmers. They different, yo. I know I love my FXs, but between them FX, them Babeless FX and them cocoa, I don't even know. So as you see, I start from the middle, and then I work my way to the left side, trying to keep it as straight as possible. Then I attack the vertical bars on this one, and always referring back to my mirror, moving the client, and just checking different angles inside my mirror. Using my corners for the C cup. Make sure that's nice and crispy. Of course, I come back in on my Andes Masters, polish up the bottom of the fade, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of detail after the edge up. I just love doing it. Enhancements, a little bit of brown, just to make that line just pop and stand out just a little bit more than it already was, you know, and just to give a little bit of razzle dazzle. Come back in on my pencil just to make the edge up stand out just a little bit more. The pencil is very close to a skin complexion, so it's not really a big drastic change, but it does make it pop. Always remember, the little things can make a big difference. Always remember, when you're using a razor, you always want to stretch the skin tight so you get a smooth glide.
Hola, gato.
Appreciate y'all watching once again. You see me letting my man check out his cut. He's feeling it. Fade by yours truly, Lex the Barber. Man, thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for watching. As y'all know, my slogan, and we still keep going.